Okay. And yeah, this is amazing. This is amazing stuff today. So sit back. Here we go. This is our last commercial. Here we go.
To the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Yes. It is Monday already, March 27th, 2023. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest running radio show. Indeed, you are. The Steve Kane Show on the radio since 1977, celebrating 46 years on the radio. The Steve Kane Show this year. And man, do we have a lot to talk about. And of course, we'll talk about the rally, the Trump rally, in a little bit. But there is huge breaking news. And it's news that you guys are responsible for. I'm going to go through the details of this. But the big donors around Ron DeSantis are dropping out and telling Governor DeSantis not to run for president of the United States against Donald Trump. Listen to this. This is absolutely amazing. The donors behind Ron DeSantis for president in 2024 are now asking him. Now, these big money donors, when they ask, they're not really asking. They're telling you that if you don't do this, they're just going to cut you off, right? They're really telling you. They don't really ask. They're just trying to be polite. The donors behind Ron DeSantis for president in 2024 are now asking him to sit this one out, according to multiple reports. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis's donors and supporters, this is insane, are beginning to question if the potential 2024 Republican presidential candidate should run in the next election cycle, a bid that would put him against Donald Trump, or wait until 2028. According to a report from NBC News, donors and supporters of Governor DeSantis are having second thoughts on the prospect of the governor's potential presidential bid. Per the report, one main issue seems to be the governor's ability to take Trump, who has been criticizing the governor for months, head on. Ron DeSantis, and this is this one is NBC News. Yes, Ron DeSantis may be missing his moment, the story reads. A number of the Florida governor's donors and allies are worried his recent stumbles suggest he may not be ready for a brutal fight against Donald Trump. Some feel DeSantis needs to accelerate his timeline to run and begin directly confronting Trump. But the big ones are saying it's not time. At a Sunday luncheon, this is yesterday, people. Today's Monday. This is yesterday. At a Sunday luncheon following the annual Red Cross Ball in Palm Beach, a group of 16 prominent Republicans, described by one attendee as a mix of DeSantis backers and Trump skeptics, discussed misgivings about Governor DeSantis' standing for the future if he tussles with Trump. They liked him. Many of them might support him. The person who was at the event said of DeSantis, but they thought on balance that his long-term future was better without him taking Trump on head on. He'll get scarred up by Trump, one of the big donors said. Yeah. This is amazing. This is amazing. Okay. So this is what you guys did, all of us, right? Because we've been talking about DeSantis for the last, couple of weeks and everything that's been going on with him and Trump. And what have we gotten out of this, right? What have we gotten out of this? That he said a lot of very bad things, including that if Bragg came down here to arrest him, Trump was on his own. There were some other things. There were some things from the book. We've been talking about this for weeks. And the polling data all has President Trump in a double-digit lead. There's one poll I saw on Newsmax over the weekend that has Trump over 30 points ahead of Ron DeSantis. There's not been a single poll where Trump has not been double digits ahead of DeSantis. And all this talk, like, last week, couple of shows, we were taking calls and I was asking Florida voters in particular, calling the program, will they vote for Ron DeSantis? They all said never again. This show is a lot of things, okay? Not those negative things you guys think. I know you guys say things about us, but this show is, like I said, the longest running radio show in the state of Florida, and it is also the political show of record, and we are located actually in Palm Beach. Our studios are in Palm Beach County. Our coverage area is Broward, Palm Beach, and the Treasure Coast, but this is where the big donors live. Okay, and these big donors and the governor's people and other campaign people heard your calls this week. They heard all of you calling this program who said you are a Florida voter and you will not vote for Ron DeSantis ever again because of what he did for Donald Trump. And these donors, these aren't charity guys. They don't throw money at someone they can't win. They throw money at someone so that they owe them. And if they can't win, there's no need to throw money. So a lot of things factored in. The polls factored in big time, no doubt about that. But those of you that called this program this week, voicing that you will never vote for Ron DeSantis again because he's doing this to Trump, was also a big deciding factor in this happening. Now, there's not going to be some big pronouncement from DeSantis. At some point, he's going to have to make an announcement. And the announcement looks like it's going to be that he's not running. He's decided to focus on Florida or something. I don't know. Let him say what he says. So what we really have to talk about then is what happens next. And I have some thoughts on that I'm going to get into after the break. We'll also take your calls. There's some other big stories we're going to cover on the program. But I want to hear your thoughts on this in particular. Our number is toll free, no matter where you're listening to us. 1-888-GO-KANE 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. And I'll move into the rallying a little bit, but I want to hear your thoughts on the donors dropping DeSantis. This is huge. And when we get back, I'll take some of your calls and also tell you when this happens and he announces he's not going to run, we got to talk about what we're going to do. How are we going to handle this and what we should be doing and not doing? And I'm going to share my thoughts with you on that. And you can call in and agree or disagree, because maybe I'm off base. We'll find out. You got to hear what I'm going to say first. But this is big, and you guys did it. All right, let's take our first break of the week. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Call us on hold. Stand by. Back after this.
Don't sit on the sidelines.
Oh, yeah. This is huge. I'm going to adjust the camera, guys, so bear with me. Hold on. I was waiting for the break to do it. There we go. Well, right there. Okay, there we go. Oh, yeah. This is absolutely amazing, people. Absolutely amazing. Let's see. Oh, man. Oh, man. That happened quick, didn't it? And a lot of people were giving me a hard time the last few weeks talking about all these things DeSantis was saying and doing. And I'm glad I didn't cave, because I think you guys in this audience, me talking about it too the last couple of weeks, I think played a huge, huge role in these donors dropping Ron DeSantis. So that's amazing, guys. That is absolutely amazing. No doubt about it. Oh, yeah. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. Everyone like the video. We'll be back in a couple minutes here from our break. Mm-hmm.
I just had my cataract surgery. Dr. Middleman did that stupid job. I was extremely excited my entire life. But the new local cut off the lenses and allowed me to see more clearly than before.
Oh, man. It's amazing. It's really amazing.
You suffer from knee pain? Have you been told that you have bone on bone or need a knee replacement? Have you been told that you have osteoarthritis? Well, then come see us at Lighthouse Medical Center. We have non-surgical
Oh, yeah.
solutions that include rehab and injections.
Great rally too, guys, huh? I'm sure you all watched the rally. We'll talk about that as well.
75 years in South Florida. You don't have to live with pain any longer. 754-222-6642. That's 754-222-6642.
Oh, that was an awesome rally. Yeah. Yeah. I love that painting that woman did in the beginning. That was so cool. Mm-hmm.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right. Yes. We are back. Callers on hold, stand by. If you are a homeowner or a business owner that owns, well, commercial property, maybe you're with a homeowners association. If your roof is old, if your roof is compromised, you need to call Tom Laporta at Laporta Contracting. Now, Tom Laporta, who will never sell you a roof you do not need, covers the entire state of Florida. You know, if you need just a simple repair, he's going to do that. He's not going to sell you a roof you don't need. No other roofing company, no other roofing contractor have I heard say that other than Tom Laporta at Laporta Contracting. Now, here in the state of Florida, new laws are now in effect that allow Tom Laporta to negotiate directly with your insurance company on the cost of all of your repairs. So you may not need to hire a public adjuster. And this is super amazing and super cool. You know, when you call your insurance company, they're going to try to give you as little money as possible and none if they can get away with it, right? You know, and sometimes they'll offer you some money, but it's not enough. It's not enough. So you hire a public adjuster. I did this about 15 years ago. I've told you about this. And the public adjuster got me a settlement for the new roof that I needed after a hurricane. But I had to give the public adjuster 20% of the money that they recovered for me. Well, that means I had to reach in my pocket and find the other 20% for the cost of the roof. With Tom Laporta at Laporta Contracting, dealing directly with your insurance company, negotiating on the cost of all the repairs, you may not have to hire a public adjuster. And if you don't have to come up with any of that 20%, right? He's going to deal directly with the insurance company and handle everything, Tom Laporta. He does residential and commercial repair, commercial roofs, schools, municipal buildings, office buildings, emergency repairs. If it's roofing, Tom Laporta can and will do it. And again, he covers the entire state of Florida. You can find him online at laportacontracting.com or give him a call directly. This number rings directly to Tom Laporta's cell phone, 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. That's 954-604-4602. All right, so if you're just joining us, oh man, Ron DeSantis's top donors are dropping out. They're dropping him, telling him not to run against Trump. This is amazing. So let's take some calls. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning. It's such a great morning. It's Lisa in Texas. I just couldn't be happier when I saw your thumbnail this morning. When I got up to get exercise early, I was just ecstatic. I mean, everybody in the chat room, we're all celebrating. This is just some of the best news.
Yeah.
And like you said, it took all of us people. You know, I emailed him. You know, I let him know. If you run for president, I'm not voting for you.
Yeah.
And so, people spoke up, they spoke out. And you know what I really liked at the rally when Trump was talking about him, he really made it clear, about loyalty. And that's what we see, how disloyal this man was. He used the MAGA party. He used us.
Oh, yeah. And, the final decision, because this donor meeting was yesterday, the Trump rally on Saturday night, that was the final straw. And, so we got to talk about what's going to happen now, because if Ron DeSantis is not running and we get that announcement, we need to be MAGA united in this election. We don't want to spend the whole election cycle attacking other Republicans. We want to be exposing the Democrats, right? That'd be counterproductive. So once this is official that he's not running, we really got to move on and stop going after the guy. Why should we waste time bashing someone that's not running against him? So we're going to have to reunite the MAGA party here.
Exactly. Yes. And the other people that are running are so insignificant, they don't matter.
Nikki Haley. Oh no. Nikki Haley, I think is 3 points higher in the polls than I am. And I'm not running.
Yeah, exactly. The rest of the people are pretty insignificant. And if they're in there and they have debates, fine and dandy, but nobody is going to stand up, to what's going on in this country. Like Trump, and people know that. Let's face it. We know how many votes he really got left.
And we know he's the only one who can do it. These other people can't do it. All right. Hey, Lisa, I appreciate the call.
Thanks, hon.
All right. Take care. Yeah. So this is awesome stuff. So we got to reunite the MAGA movement when this happens. Okay. When this happens, we got to reunite. But attacking DeSantis all the time, if he's not running, is counterproductive. It's not just a waste of our time. It would be counterproductive. So we got to get him back on the Trump train, if only in appearance only, and get we got to get the band back together. Over the weekend, I was talking on YouTube, doing some YouTube live streams because of the Trump rally. And I was saying that Casey DeSantis is like the Yoko Ono of MAGA, because Yoko Ono broke up the Beatles, and she was doing that with our MAGA band. And this is just wonderful news we're waking up to today. It's pretty awesome. Good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning. How you doing?
All right.
This is Maria from Florida.
Hey, Maria.
Yeah. Oh my God, it was so beautiful. That rally Saturday. I watched it from the beginning to the end, and Trump was on point. He hit a lot of notes, and he had some notes about Ron DeSantis.
Mm-hmm.
To a point where he was just bashing him. He wasn't bashing him in a bad way. He was just pointing out the things that Ron DeSantis did say in his interview about Dr. Fauci and other stuff. And I was amazed that Ron DeSantis would even try to blast Trump for Dr. Fauci. He didn't fire Dr. Fauci. He should have fired him.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, wait a minute, Dr. Fauci's been an employee for the government for years. Why no other president didn't let Dr. Fauci go and fire him?
Mm-hmm.
Blame a man that only had 4 years in the White House and didn't know what the disease was about, and he tried to do his best. So at that, I think I hear a lot of comments, people need to really wake up and stop trying to blame Trump because of the vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
People just
well, you don't have to take it. We don't have a national mandate ordering it. But that rally on Saturday night was a great rally. Trump looks so good. He looks, it looked like he is the only president that looks younger after the president. The other ones always look old, and he looked, when he came down the steps of Trump Force One in Waco, Texas, Saturday night, he looked about 25, 30 years younger than the last time I saw him.
Yeah, he looks good, though. He looks good. It seems like he was having fun. Honestly, I have seen it multiple times, but this one here, I think it really hit home that when New York DA and Letitia James,
Oh yeah.
the rest of them, Georgia, all of them, they just really hit the wrong.
So if Ron DeSantis does not run, do you agree we got to stop going after him until he, unless he does run? But because we got to stop. We don't want to have a MAGA. We got to have a united MAGA front.
But my question for both of them, Trump and Ron DeSantis. Ron DeSantis, first of all, need to stop doing interviews bashing him because he's for a while. And Trump need to ignore it and focus on what he needs to get out to the American people. But he have to make a move because the MAGA people, honestly, I know how I feel about it. I'm not trying to hear Ron DeSantis.
Well, it looks like I'm up against the break, Maria, but it's good news. The donors are telling DeSantis not to run. So that's it. There's if he doesn't have the donors, there's no campaign. So we're just waiting for the announcement that he's not running. Hey, appreciate the call. Thanks so much. If you're on hold, stand by. We're going to take our bottom of the hour break. If you're on hold, I'll go to the phones after the break. Don't go anywhere. Back after this.
Making morning radio great again.
Oh. Yeah, no donors, no campaign. That's how it works, guys. If you're new to my channel, subscribe. Everyone like the video, too, if you don't mind. So we'll oh, by the way, Lisa called in about her MyPillow 2.0. That commercial is being added to the mix yesterday. I turned her call into a commercial, and I'll debut it later on the show. It's not in our mix yet. I just made the commercial yesterday from Lisa's call about the MyPillow 2.0. But I'll do a debut in a little bit of the commercial. It's a pretty good one, Lisa. Oh, yeah, this is just incredible news. Yeah, I mean, it does. I'm so glad. I don't want to be attacking Republicans. I want to expose these Democrats. We got to, that's what we need to do. Attacking other Republicans, it takes you only so far, and then it becomes counterproductive. You know what I mean? If we're attacking each other, we're not exposing them. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. It's amazing. What Trump has pulled off in the last week is amazing. Got Bragg off his back, defeated Soros, defeated Bragg, getting DeSantis to not run. I mean, Trump has just had a lot of home runs this last week. It's amazing. It's amazing. How does he do it? How does he do it? But DeSantis is going to have to save face a little bit. So you gotta let him act like he's the boss a little bit. Mm-hmm. Oh boy. Yeah, little humbling can wake a guy up. Can wake a guy up. Bring him back down to earth. I'm not saying back him. I'm just saying we won. You know what I mean? So he's going to have to save face a little bit so that he can come out and act like this is something he's doing on his own and not being forced to do. But that's okay. We know the truth. Welcome, everyone. I'll take some more calls, and then I'm going to talk about the rally. Oh, don't worry. What case have they ever had against Trump that he wasn't cleared in? You know? All the fake MAGA dividers, they're not going to let this thing with Ron go, though. You know, these Lincoln Project types, they want us to fight amongst ourselves. Oh, boy, this is a great day of celebration. Yeah, I'm a little tired. I had something going on. I didn't get much sleep last night. They're always going to have cases against Trump. These corrupt politicians. Oh, I didn't say you have to like him. I didn't say to like him or to back him. Didn't say either of those things. All right. Welcome back. One and all callers on hold, stand by. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. If you're just tuning in, Ron DeSantis's donors are dropping him. They're telling him not to run. It's not his time. And we're celebrating that. That was very exciting. So let's take some calls. And, oh, man, just a great day to celebrate. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Louise, the masked lady from Boca.
Hey, Louise.
Hi, good morning. I just wanted to say, why would Ron DeSantis say I'm not running when he never said he was running?
Well, because people are going to ask him a lot. He does a press conference pretty much every day. And the expectation has been that he was going to make an announcement after the legislative session is over in Tallahassee. So he's going to be asked in press conferences. He's going to have to eventually give an answer.
Oh, I know he lost my vote. I mean, I was very disappointed.
Yeah, we all were.
Yeah.
But now that the donors are dropping him, that's it. He's not going to run. You can't run without donors.
Well, I just felt it sounded silly say, "Oh, I'm not running," when he never said he was.
Yeah, he implied. That's not exactly true. He was implying that he was running.
Implying, yes, but he never stated it. He said, "Wouldn't you like to know?"
Mm-hmm.
Things to that effect.
That's right. All right.
Hey, bye.
All right. Take care. She takes her mask off, the mask lady, when she calls me. I can tell by her voice. Good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
It's Mike from Louisiana.
Oh, hey, Mike.
You know what Trump looks like? He looks like he's been seeing Dr. Matez.
Yeah, well, hormone replacement pellet therapy. You never know. Hey, listen, they listen to this show over at Mar-a-Lago, so maybe they've gone over to see Dr. Mitch Matez at the bio station. But when I saw Trump come down those steps and walk out on that stage, I'm not exaggerating. He looked 25, 30 years younger than the last time I saw him.
I mean, that's the thing. And obviously, he plays a lot of golf and he stays in shape. You know, you got to be in shape to play golf. So, obviously, but again, with DeSantis, I mean, Trump has to know that these donors have dropped him. He has to know that. And
well, if I know it, he knows it, right?
Right, and he's still attacking him. He won't stop attacking him until I think Trump won't stop attacking him until DeSantis makes the announcement that he's not.
Well, the decision about not running has been made for him. If you don't have donors, you cannot run.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. But my thing is, he has to make the announcement, the actual say, I'm more concerned about Florida than running for president. I'm not running or something.
Yeah, we'll let him save face like it's his decision, like he wasn't forced to do it. Yeah, of course. Why not? Why not? But like I said, I mean, maybe I'm wrong. You can tell me from. Once this happens, we shouldn't be bashing him anymore. What positive outcome of attacking him if he's not running? What's the positive outcome of that? You know, it's divides MAGA. A lot of it had to do, I think, with this show the last week, with the callers to the show. But the final bit was the Trump rally. You know, Trump went through the whole thing, and people didn't like the people at the rally. Did not like Ron DeSantis. You could tell. So that's it. So yesterday, the donor said no more. Campaign's over. Sorry, Ron.
And that's the thing. I mean, like I say, once the money, and look, we said that earlier that he was doing this because he was trying to sell his book. Now, I don't know how much his book has been selling, whatever, but you know, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we will. All right, Mike, appreciate the call. Yes, we will see. But I can't wait to talk about these things till we'll see, or we'll be talking about the past all the time as opposed to what's going on now and in the future. All right, so, you know, what President Trump has done in the last week is an absolute miracle. He defeated Soros. He defeated Bragg. He stopped this indictment and arrest that was looming, and he's gotten Ron DeSantis to not run for president against him. That's amazing. It's amazing. Think about that. In the last week, all that's happened. Yeah. I don't know how he does it, but he does it. That's why he's worth $10 billion with a B dollars. It's absolutely amazing. Now, the rally on Saturday night in Waco was spectacular, wasn't it? Was that not a great rally? I love that rally. It was an awesome rally. And there's a lot to say about it. And your thoughts on the rally certainly are welcome at 1-888-GO-CANE1. You're welcome to call in about this great news that you are in very large part responsible for, getting the donors to drop DeSantis not running. So you're welcome to call in about that. But this rally on Saturday night in Waco, Texas was amazing. You know, that woman that did the painting in the beginning, that was just so cool. I'm not really into performance art typically, you know, and I've seen performance artists do paintings, not of Trump like that, but I've seen other people do it, you know, and all the dancing while they're making these over exaggerated brush strokes is a little bit too much for me typically, but I love the one at the rally. I mean, it was amazing. When she first started, I'm like, I don't know. I know what she's trying to do, but that doesn't look very good. And I was saying to my wife, we were watching, I said, if it doesn't come out very nice, I hope Trump doesn't rip her. I'll feel bad for her if he comes out and criticizes the. And then I blinked, and then all of a sudden it was this incredible portrait of President Trump. And, you know, she did that portrait from memory. She didn't have a photo she was looking at. That was amazing. And I looked her up, that artist. She's a Christian artist. She sells that painting. She has a few of those just like it for $3,200 each. A little more expensive than the art I normally buy, $3,200. But she is the artist who painted that painting that Mike Lindell has behind his desk that you see in the television commercials with Jesus and the lion. She painted that. And that was so cool. But when Trump came out, and he stood on the stage to the side of the podium, I was like, what's going on? Why isn't he at the podium? What's he waiting for? And then they played the #1 song on iTunes, President Trump, right? And the J6 choir. And that was just beautiful. Beautiful. I did something I've not done. I don't know in years. I actually bought a song on iTunes. I don't buy music on iTunes, but I bought that one. President Trump and the J6 Choir. It was like $1.30 or something. I bought it because I wanted, but I want you guys to think about this now. This is amazing. President Trump has the #1 song in America, maybe even beyond, but certainly in America. He knocked Miley Cyrus out of the #1 spot. She's #3. And Taylor Swift, she's got a new track out. She's #2 behind President Trump in the J6 Choir. And that's better than these polls we get. That's how popular he is. President Trump is so popular, he's got the #1 song in America. And if you guys remember the days of Casey Kasem, America Counting Him Down, Casey Kasem's Top 40, I used to listen to that every week on the radio. Could you imagine if Casey Kasem were alive today? And yeah, could you imagine? And he was doing the Top 40 countdown. And #1 with Casey Kasem, President Donald J. Trump and the J6 Choir. And then they had to play it. Oh, that's what it's like. He's broken another record. Shouldn't he get a Grammy? I remember the Grammys gave Obama a Grammy. Do you remember this? Obama got a Grammy for his book on tape, for spoken word, book on tape or something. They probably created the category. President Trump, to my knowledge, and I stand to be corrected on this, but President Trump is the first president in history to have the #1 song on the charts in America. And because it's iTunes, it may be beyond America. Don't you think he should be nominated and win a Grammy for that? You know how hard that is to do? And who's downloading songs on iTunes? A lot of younger people too. That is how popular Donald Trump is, that he has the #1 song in America. It's never happened before. So I don't know when the next Grammys are. I don't know when the nominations are. And I don't know how the process works. I stopped paying attention to the Grammys when I grew up. I used to follow it when I was a kid. But whatever that process is, President Trump deserves a Grammy award. That's absolutely amazing. How did that happen? #1 song. And you would hardly know it watching the media. The media are not telling you that President Trump has the #1 song in America. Top of the charts. And when I was growing up, I used to watch I was very into music when I was younger. I used to watch Solid Gold. Casey Kasem had America's Top 10 and all of them. They used to do all that on the weekends on television. I'd watch it. Could you imagine? Could you imagine if Solid Gold were still on TV and they were doing the top 10 songs as they did every week on Solid Gold? And remember, they would do the top 10 songs and they'd play a little clip from the song and the Solid Gold dancers would dance. Remember, guys? You remember that? They danced to the song. Can you imagine if that was this week, if Solid Gold was still on television and all right, and then, #1 song in America, President Donald John Trump, the 45th president of the United States, and the J6 Choir, and then the Solid Gold dancers have to do a little dance while they're playing. Oh my goodness. But that was amazing how we began that. I just loved it. All right, if you're on hold, stand by. We're going to take our last break of the first hour. It's Monday, lots to celebrate. The donors have dropped DeSantis. Donald Trump has the #1 song in America, and he beat Soros and Bragg. This is just a great day. We'll be right back.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning, 6 to 9.
All right, guys, I'm going to make a quick run to the men's room. I hope I can make it back. I think I got enough time. I drank a lot of water today. All right, made it back. Made it back. Oh, just a great week of news. Hey, there's over 1,000 people in the live stream. If you're new, subscribe. But only a handful of you have liked the video. Please like the video. That helps spread word of my channel to people that have not yet found me. Service and top-of-the-line cuisine. You'll indulge in local wines and culinary delights. To join and learn more about this once-in-a-lifetime trip, visit RyanPortugal.com. Request a brochure.
This is Steve Kane. I want to tell you about my favorite restaurant in
Oh,
all of
how does Trump do? How does he look so good? My goodness. Do you guys think he looked like he's the only president that looks younger when he leaves? They all look so old and tired, and they're not even working. He was working nonstop and looked great. All right, welcome back. One and all callers on hold, standby. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm going to debut a new commercial. You know, Lisa from Texas, she called in last week. Her and her husband got their MyPillow 2.0s, which have the cooling technology in them. So your head, your face never get warm. You'll never flip your pillow over again because it's too hot. It's absolutely amazing. She called in and talked about how much she loved her MyPillow 2.0. So I took that call and I made it a commercial that's going to start on the show later this week. But I'm going to give you the sneak peek today on the program. So this is Lisa. You out there listening, Lisa? This is Lisa in Texas. You know, and we do something on this program that other radio shows do not do. Our listeners, our callers actually do commercials for us. And this is Lisa in Texas in her radio debut with her commercial for the MyPillow 2.0, which is buy one, get one free with our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. Check it out. Here it is.
Hey, good morning, Brian. It's Lisa, and my husband and I received our MyPillow 2.0 that we ordered with Kane the other day, the buy one, get one free, and they're our first MyPillows, and we love them. We absolutely love them. They're just absolutely marvelous. Yeah, I'm so glad. I got slippers on the way, too.
Go to MyPillow.com and use our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, and buy your MyPillow 2.0. Right now, buy one, get one free. You can also order by phone, toll free, 800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code Kane. Wow, I think Lisa does a very good commercial there, don't you guys? Wow. Our listeners are great at the commercial endorsements. I really enjoy. All right, let's go back to the phones. Lots of great news today. The donors have dropped DeSantis. The DeSantis presidential campaign 2024 is over before it even began. This is great news. The band is back together. Yoko Ono, otherwise known as Casey DeSantis, was not successful in breaking the MAGA Beatles up. It's going to be a rough reuniting because everyone's got a safe face and all. But this is an awesome day. All right, good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Kool-Aid, West Palm Beach.
Oh, hey.
Brian,
I'm doing all right.
how you doing today? Hey, listen, man, let's back off DeSantis a little bit here. You know, he's like one of the best governors we've ever had. You know, Rick Scott and Lawton Childs and Governor DeSantis. I think they're some of the best governors we've ever.
Lawton Childs, a Democrat? You're praising a Democrat? I know walking Lawton Childs.
And then when they asked,
Tell me something that walking Lawton Childs did for Florida that was great as governor.
I can't.
Oh, shocker. Okay, so take him on. Well, if you've been listening to the show today, I told people, I said, now that he's not running, it's time to stop bashing DeSantis. That's a waste of time. We got to expose Democrats.
You're right. Yeah. Okay. Lon Childs was a decent Democrat. No, not all of them are bad.
Democrat, excuse me. There is no such thing as a decent Democrat. Lawton Childs was governor back in the 90s. They call him Walking Lawton because when he was in, like, I think it was state senate, he walked the entire state of Florida campaigning. And I've met him, and we've had him on the show. But he was one of those Democrats that came of age during the same time that Biden did, when Democrats said black people can't go to the same school as white kids and stuff like that. There's no such, and of course they're all pro-abortion. There is no such thing as a decent Democrat. They don't exist.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Well, hold on. How can you be a decent person if you support abortion? Democrats support abortion.
Brian, not all of them do.
Well, that means they're not decent.
Mitch McConnell, for Christ.
He's not decent. He's not decent either.
Democrats are bad either.
Tell me a Democrat who give me a Democrat who's not bad. Who? Who's that?
Tom Delaney. He ran for the president. He ran for Democratic nominee against Biden. He's got some pretty decent ideas.
I don't even know who that is. So he's against abortion?
You know, I don't know.
If he's for abortion, he's not decent.
To him, and
do you have a Democrat that people have heard of? There's no such thing as a sensible Democrat. Abortion's only one problem. Yeah, well, you just exposed yourself anyway.
Hey, listen, I'm a Trump fan. I'm a huge fan.
Oh, I can tell.
I've been to his rallies.
Yeah.
I lined up on Southern Boulevard waiting for his motorcade.
Uh-huh.
I can wave hello to him.
Yeah.
Yes, I have. I'm a big Trump fan.
I can tell.
And I'm not saying all Democrats are bad, because they're not.
They are bad. They are all bad. All Democrats are bad.
No, Brian. No. See, this is what's dividing our country. It's not. It is Democrats. You're right. There are bad Democrats, and the ones that are in power. Democrats,
not just abortion. Oh, look, he's hear that? He opened up his door. He's trying to get out. He's trying to get away from this because he dug himself in. I heard the door open. He's trying to get out of this. Oh, I know. Oh, yeah. Just as it's getting rough, he's got to get to work. Got to get to work now. You're at work. The door's open. You know, the Democrats, they're advocating stealing more of our money by raising taxes. That's not decent. There's no such thing as a decent Democrat. All right? No such thing. Good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Brian. It's Pat from Illinois.
Hey, Pat.
Hi, how are you?
All right.
This other guy that you were just talking to, he's full of bologna sausage.
Yes.
Number two, Ron DeSantis had my respect before I found out that he is a swamp creature. And if he would have just waited and been on Trump's side, we would have voted for him in 2028.
Yeah, but you know what though? But he's not running now. The donors have dropped him, so we gotta get back to exposing the Democrats and stop. What good is it to bash? DeSantis is going to do something that's very difficult, right? He's going through a big humiliation right now with this, and he's going to have to try to save face before he announces he's not running because Florida is more important than a campaign or whatever he says. So if we keep battering him, it's going to make it difficult for him to come out and endorse Trump, as Matt Gaetz demanded that he do along with Ted Cruz at the Trump rally Saturday night in Texas.
Well, I'll tell you something. Ron DeSantis is no President Trump. There's no way he could do the things and be as hard as President Trump is. There's never going to be a President Trump ever again.
No.
Love President Trump.
Oh, yeah.
I prayed for him when I heard last week they were going to arrest him. I was crying because to me, this man has gone through problem after problem, and it's all baloney.
That's true.
On him to run because, George Soros says, oh, he's dangerous. Well, of course he's dangerous to you devils.
Exactly. Well, Ron DeSantis is no longer running. Did you watch the rally in Waco, Texas, Saturday?
Yes, I did, and I put my other TV on like you asked.
Well, What was your favorite part? What was your favorite part?
When they were doing when they stood up and they were singing.
Oh, the J6 choir with President Trump, the #1 song in America that Donald Trump has right now. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the speech where he said, "They ain't coming after me; they're coming after you."
Correct.
Standing in their way, and plus the whole speech was good.
You know what I like? I really love it when President Trump is talking at the end with the music. You know, and he's going through just like a dramatic summary of everything, and I love that part too. I love the whole thing, but I like that a lot.
They're calling Ron DeSantis now. They're calling him not Ron DeSanctimonious. They're calling him Ron DeSoros.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've also heard Ron Jeb Santis. You know, I've heard there's a lot of. He's got one of those names that's easy to make fun of, but he is not going to run. The donors are dropping him. So you know,
beginning, President Trump helped him. Nobody knew who he was. And I saw that, how he tried to help him and everything and got him in. And I've noticed there's a history here that every time President Trump, he's got a very good heart. He helps somebody.
There's no recalls.
Like Nikki Haley said, "Oh, I'll never run against you." And what is she?
Yeah, but I'm not having a lot of success here. You know, Ron DeSantis is going through the biggest. This is the only time Ron DeSantis has faced rejection in his life. Right? I mean, he's like a perfect guy. He was in the Little League World Series, you know, and all this stuff. You know, it's very difficult for him to accept defeat because he's always won. He's been defeated before the game began. It's going to be very difficult for him to come out and announce he's not running. He will eventually do it. And if we keep battering him, if we keep bashing him, it's going to make it, you know, even more difficult. You know, we want to get the band back together. Don't let Casey, Yoko Ono, DeSantis destroy the MAGA Beatles. We got it.
Let me ask you one question. If he does run in 2028, would you still vote for him?
No, I can't trust the guy. He's not to be trusted. You cannot trust Ron DeSantis. But that's okay. The only thing I need him to do is not run against Trump. Right? We don't need him to run against Trump. All right. Hey, listen, hurry up. I got to run.
Okay. I think that one of Trump's sons should run after Trump. That's what I think.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine. We got a whole bunch of sons, right? Don Jr., Eric, and then Barron will be old enough by that time. All right. Take care. All right. If you're on hold, stand by. We're going to take our break for the top of the hour. It's a great day. It's a great day. Now, we got to lay off DeSantis. You know how difficult it is? This guy has gotten everything he's wanted his whole life. He's never lost something. Now he just lost the presidency before the campaign began. That is not an easy thing for a guy like that to admit. So you got to lay off of him just a bit so he'll do the right thing. All right. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. Our number 1-888-GO-KANE-1 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call. Back after this.
WWNN Pompano Beach, WIRK.
You guys you see what I mean though? Does that make sense to you guys at all? All right, got more stuff here. Got all kinds of stuff to talk about. You guys like Lisa's commercial for the My Pillow? I thought she did very good on that. I got to see where to go next. I got so much to talk about here today. It's one of those days where we're overloaded with news, one of those overloaded news days. Oh, man. What a great day. If you're new, make sure you subscribe, and everyone, please like the video. Where are we here? I'm just reading over a couple stories I'm going to talk about when we get back. Oh, this is just a wonderful day, guys. A wonderful day. All this, remember President Trump, he used to say, you're going to get tired of winning. Winning never gets old, does it? And this is a real competition. He's going up against, big people. Absolutely amazing. Winning never gets old. Is Wookiees in there? Hey, Wookiees, hope you're feeling better. What was your favorite part of the rally, guys? It was such a good rally. How long did he speak? It didn't seem like it was as long as normal. Was it about 90 minutes? How long was he speaking for? It's hard. It goes by so quick. Yeah, it seemed about 90 minutes, I would be my guess. He's not here yet, but maybe he's listening. Well, if Wookiees is listening, of course, our prayers are with Wookiees and hope he is feeling better. All right, here we go. Coming back. All right, we are back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977, celebrating 46 years on the radio. It is Monday already, and what a great Monday. Wow, this time last Monday was a sad day. They were going to arrest the president. Ron DeSantis was running against him. George Soros was winning. And here we are a week later. Trump is not only not going to be indicted, he's not going to be arrested. He defeated Soros. He defeated Bragg. He's got the donors to drop Ron DeSantis, and Ron DeSantis is no longer running for president. How did he do? And he's got the #1 song in America on iTunes right now, President Trump and the J6 Choir. So, I mean, this is just all this winning. I just don't know how the guy does it. Okay, now there's a story today that's being buried because the media don't want you to think about this too much. But if you remember, there was a lot of controversy about the names of a lot of military bases, Army bases in particular, in the South that were named after Confederates, and they're renaming all of them. And that process is starting to move forward. This is from military.com. The Army is moving forward with renaming bases that for decades have honored Confederates. And it's starting with Fort Pickett, which is in Virginia, is being renamed Fort Barfoot on Friday. And there's a whole bunch. I'm not going to go through the list of all of them, but they're renaming all these bases. And this is a good thing. And we should talk about it a lot because, you know, these bases that they're renaming are named after what? Confederate generals, some of them even Klansmen, right? And each one of these racist Confederates, right? Every name on a base of one of those racist Confederates is a Democrat who took part in an armed, violent insurrection against the federal government of the United States in protest of the election of the first Republican, Abraham Lincoln. Think about that. That's what started the whole thing. You know, back then, they didn't have the inauguration until what, March? So as soon as Lincoln won, the Democrats had a fit and they started leaving the Union, formed this country. And, you know, when you read these stories about it, there are stories all over the place in the news today. They're not being discussed, but you can find stories about renaming the bases and they'll tell you they're Confederates, but none of them tell you they're Democrats. And the reason that these bases are named after them is because Democrats in Congress wanted to honor these insurrectionist generals and name things after them so they would be forever remembered. So we've got to really promote this and talk about it and share with everyone what's going on here. Okay. Yes, that's right. Since they're all concerned with insurrectionists, you know, and all this stuff, you know, they're the insurrectionists. They actually had the war. It's called the Civil War, but I call it the Democrat insurrection. Sometimes you'll hear a lot of people call it the War of Northern Aggression. You know, that's a funny thing. You know, I've heard that many times. But no. The Democrat insurrection against the United States. It turned into the Civil War. That's what it's known as. But let's not forget, right? And, you know, the reason, though, that this is happening, the reason they're renaming these bases is the same reason they were taking down the statues of Confederates. Because the Democrats have lost so many black voters since President Trump came down the escalator. And in the last 5 years or so, black Americans have started to realize that all these racist slave-owning Confederates were Democrats. So what's going on here with the renaming of the bases was done through Pelosi and all of that. Just like taking down a lot of these monuments. Remember, Pelosi took some paintings down of past speakers that were racist from the House of Representatives. What the Democrats are doing by renaming these bases and taking down monuments is wiping out the true history of the Democrat Party, that they're the party of the slave master, the slaveholder, the lynchers, the segregationist. And, you know, because whenever there's a base named after one of these Democrat slave owners or a statue in a park, and people go up and read that statue, they read about it. The plaque doesn't tell you they were a Democrat, but everybody does what? Right? What do? If someone's at a park and there's a statue of a Confederate general, what do? They take out their phone and they Google it. They read the Wikipedia and find out that General Lee was a Democrat. They never learn that. They don't teach you that in school, right? So Democrats are doing away with all these things that are named after Democrat, racist, because they don't want people to know the true history of the Democrat Party. And that's a fact, guys. That's what they're doing. They're wiping out the history of the Democrat Party. All right, 1-888-GO-CANE-1 is the number. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Conservative Doug.
Oh, hey, Doug.
Man, what a great way to start a week, man. This is fantastic. That rally was just what everybody needed. I'm so glad so many people showed up, because if there was a small attendance, the meeting would have been, oh, he lost his base.
Mm-hmm.
He wound up fixing it. One thing I want to say, I don't know if I ever said this before, but Ron DeSantis and just about anybody else who's running against Trump should think about what Eddie from Pearl Jam said. Eddie said that, Pearl Jam is a really big band, and we got a big following, and everybody loves it. And then we opened up for the Rolling Stones, and we find out we're not quite as big as we thought we are.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Eddie Vedder, yeah. Well, they didn't realize that when they took on Ticketmaster and ruined their entire career, Pearl Jam. What a bunch of idiots.
Well, I'm just saying, anybody, I get anybody to try to have a rally and see if they get 1/10 of what President Trump could get. Trump is Trump. There's nobody going to ever beat him, man. This is unbelievable. And we all needed these rallies. Thank God that they're not going to arrest him. And it's a great day, man.
Did you watch the rally in Texas? Yeah. What was your favorite part? What was your favorite part?
Well, of course, as soon as President Trump walked out, and I love that painting. I think that was
the painting was amazing.
Yeah, man. I love Mike Rendell. He came out here early, and he was great.
What about Ted Nugent? Did you guys catch Ted Nugent?
I haven't seen Ted Nugent.
I must tell you, I missed Ted Nugent. I was expecting him to come out right before Trump, and I missed it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I heard him mention Ted Nugent, but and like you said, number one song, that's impossible. In the music business, to get a number one, you got to be really popular. Trump is popular, man. Trump is just so unique.
Well, the media want you to think he's not popular, but how does he have the number one song in America that's on the charts right now? Donald J. Trump and the January 6th Choir. How could he have the number one song in America if he's not incredibly popular? That costs money. I bought that song last night.
Man, I'm going to buy it myself. Unbelievable. This guy is just something special. I mean, and think about it. How can anybody want to go against him? All his accomplishments, one after the other, made him never great again, and people want to go against him.
Yeah. Well, it's good news. It's good news that Ron DeSantis is not running. And, you heard it here first, by the way. The media are going to still drag this out and everything else. But when the donors drop you, you're done. No donors, no campaign. All right, Doug, take care. Sounds like he's recovered from the car accident. We'll be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines.
Oh, great day, guys.
This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig on Oldies 95.9 and 106.9.
Scott here from Cut by Kilowatts.
Oh, exciting. Hey, listen, there's over 1,100 people in the chat right now. Less than half of you have liked the video, and I know you're not all subscribed either. Please subscribe. We got that countdown to 60,000 subs going on. This is the most pro-Donald Trump, pro-MAGA channel on all of YouTube. I promise you. Okay, if you're new here, you're going to love this channel and all my content. Oh, just a great day, people. I'm starting to get used to the time change finally. Oh, I am starving. I am so hungry right now. I've got an hour and 45 minutes of the show left. All right, here we go.
4602 or visit us on our website at reportercontracting.com. That number again is 254-602.
Is Jimmy D in the chat?
On the air since 1977. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right, callers on hold, stand by. A glorious Monday, lots of great news we're celebrating. You know, people out there in the listening audience, you guys message me all over the place. You know, I'm on all the platforms, you know. And one of our listeners, Jimmy D, you out there, Jimmy D? Good morning, Jimmy D. Sent me a message on Instagram. And Jimmy D, he's from New York and was visiting Florida. Listen to this. This is Jimmy D. I got this message Friday. This is from Jimmy D, down from New York. All 7 of us went to Anne Marie's for dinner. An absolute home run. We told them Steve Kane Show and the radio station sent us. That's awesome. I mean, we have listeners on vacation in Florida, coming to Florida, and now Anne Marie's is now a must-see tourist site. 7 of them for dinner. You know, that's amazing. And I got to tell you, it's significant that they're from New York for a number of reasons. One, that they were kind enough to add that to their vacation, you know. But hey, homemade Italian food at Anne Marie's. There's homemade Italian food all over New York, but we're not in New York, unfortunately. And for New Yorkers, native New Yorkers, to come to Florida, eat at Anne Marie's, and rave about how wonderful and delicious the food is, that's amazing. So thank you, Jimmy D, and your group for making Anne Marie's in Pompano part of your Florida vacation. And, you know, Anne Marie's now, they're not open on Mondays, guys. Okay, they're open every other day of the week, not Mondays, which is today. But on Tuesdays between 2 and 6, kids eat free with the purchase of an entree by the parents. Okay, so there you go. So that's amazing. Anne Marie's is in Pompano on the northwest corner of US 1 Federal Highway and Copans Road in the same plaza as the movie theater. When you stop in, make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio. All right, back to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Good morning. You're on the air. I hear you breathing. Just a second. What are you doing?
Good morning, Mr. Greg. Carlos from Hollywood.
Hey, Carlos, speak up.
Okay, so don't forget, I know you don't, but to the audience, that the main leader of the Democratic Party, senile Biden, is a racist. You know?
Correct.
Racist.
Kamala. Marijuana. Yes, that's right.
Kamala called him a racist.
And said he was a segregationist.
The first debate? Yeah. So they elected a racist.
Correct. In fact, in 1978, when Biden was in the Senate, Jimmy Carter was president. And Joe Biden went to Jimmy Carter and tried to get him to allow the segregation to continue in private schools. Because private schools would get federal money, you know, oftentimes. So he was trying to maintain segregation so blacks couldn't go to school with white kids as recently as 1978, Joe Biden. That's how much of a racist he is. That's right.
Because have been themselves racist.
Mm-hmm.
They went against the Republicans. When the Republicans wanted to end slavery, they were the ones that formed the Ku Klux Klan.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, a lot of people know about Democrat community activist organizations like Black Lives Matter and Acorn and SEIU, but the original Democrat community activist organization was the Ku Klux Klan. That's fact. It's fact. It's not a joke. It's fact. Hey, Carlos, man, take care. Thanks for the call. Great caller. Good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Harry from Massachusetts.
Hey, Harry.
Hey, how you doing?
All right. How are you?
Good, thanks. I just wanted to say, you're right about Trump. I think he's looking good, and he's looking better and better every time you see him. And the thing is, and he seems to be getting by pretty good now, and things seem to be rolling his way. I think it's because a lot of people are praying for him, including myself. We're praying for him big time for everything to work out for him and for our country, and to get him in the White House as soon as possible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't think anybody can come close to Trump as far as president goes, because he did the first 4 years he was in there. He was fantastic. I mean, no one's perfect, but boy, he was really, really close to it.
Well, when I tell people, when I say that he has the #1 song in America on the charts today, because he's #1 on iTunes, Donald Trump and the J6 Choir, that is the most incredible poll I've ever seen of a presidential candidate. Who has been president that's had the #1 song in America? #1 on the charts. He knocked off, Miley Cyrus's new song is about her ex-boyfriend. He was in the Hunger Games cheating on her, and it's very hot song. She made the video in the house that he used to hook up with the women on the side. To knock her off the #1 slot, she's #3, Taylor Swift is #2, President Trump and the J6 Choir, that's how popular this man is in America. That's not an easy thing to do.
I mean, nobody could even be in the shoes that Trump is in. They would have never lasted that. They would have been long gone so fast, it ain't funny.
Did you catch the rally Saturday night?
I caught bits of it. I'm going to check it out, though, because I know I can get the repeats. I'm going to look.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trump is a man. He's the man. If it wasn't for him, who the heck who would we have to be in that corner like he is?
No one.
Anybody.
Well, part of the problem that other politicians have, like Ron DeSantis is a great governor, no getting around it. But Donald Trump is the greatest ever. And he's
so first.
Well, he has raised the bar that the expectation of the American people have for our presidents now. And it's a hard bar to equal, even come close to.
That's right. Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Take care, man. I appreciate the call. And that's true. People expect positive results, not rhetoric and talking points and giving Women of the Year awards and things like this. President Trump has just, before, people really didn't expect their presidents to do much, right? They really didn't expect their presidents to do much at all. And then Donald Trump accomplished his whole agenda. So people expect results now. And that's a difficult thing. In his speech, there was so much of it on Saturday night that was great. But one of the things I really liked, this was at the end when he talks while they're playing the music, which is a super cool part. And and he was talking about the electric cars. And he says they want us to drive electric cars, which don't go far. And the batteries are made in China. And the parts are made in China while we're sitting on an ocean of oil. And electric car, if you want an electric car, that's cool. Go get one. But they got this story that they're running today. I've been hearing it, forcing us into it. Why are they forcing us into it? Because our leaders work for China. And by the way, that goes for the Republican establishment too. They work for China. And Biden just gave China the largest lithium deposits in the world when he handed Afghanistan over to the Chinese. So they've got the lithium for the batteries. They make the cars. They make the parts. They make the batteries. It's part of his employer's demands. His employer, of course, being the CCP. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Good morning. You're on the air. Once, twice. Yes, it sounds like you.
Sorry. I wasn't sure. Somebody said something to me last night because we're all Trump lovers.
Mm-hmm.
There's just a couple of things I know a lot of people, if you're not from New York, you don't get him. Sometimes he does have to shut his mouth. Go on and on.
No.
You know what? A very smart retired teacher, friend of mine, made a great comment to me yesterday. And it is about, would you rather go to a doctor that has a great bedside manner and can't diagnose what's wrong with you? Or go to a doctor who has terrible bedside manner but saves your life?
See, I'm going to disagree with you on Trump. First off, he has a great bedside manner with his patients, which are the American people. You want your doc, if you go to a cancer specialist, You want them to have a great relationship with you, but not with cancer, right? You don't want your doctor to have a good relationship with cancer, do you? You want them to have a good relationship with you. See, the political establishment are a cancer. The deep state are a cancer. China's a cancer. Ukraine is a cancer. He has a great bedside manner with us, his constituents. These cancerous people, they're offended by him, but that's fine. We want cancer to be offended by the cancer specialist that's trying to save us, right?
More people on board from the people that I speak to. I mean, and it's tri-state down here. And there's a lot of people that are getting very...
Yeah, you're talking about New Yorkers. New Yorkers are confused. Look who they got as the mayor of New York City. Look who they got. Look who they got as the governor. This Yoda character. That's the governor. So look what they got running the DA's office. They're always confused in New York, and the tri-state area are a bunch of libs too. They're always confused. Don't let those liberals pollute your thinking. Let Trump be Trump. He's fine. He's got the #1 song in America today. That's pretty popular.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I thank you every morning on my way to work. I listen to you guys.
Well, welcome.
It's wonderful. Thanks so much.
Thank you. If you're on hold, stand by. Back after this.
Making morning radio great again. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Oh, man. Great calls today, huh? There's over 1,200 in the chat, and less than half of you have liked the video. So, guys, come on, like the video. And if you're new, subscribe. How many am I away? I am 284 away from 60,000 subscribers on YouTube. So, getting close.
Talking about
DeSantis, Yoko Ono, yeah.
DeSantis, excuse me. I was thinking Yoko Ono.
Yes, there you go. That's funny. That's funny.
It's like thinking, like that's so connected in some way.
Yeah, Yoko Ono's upset. I got Yoko Ono on the brain because I was over the weekend. I was watching Julian Lennon popped up on my YouTube recommendations, and I was listening to him talk about Yoko Ono. And then I started thinking, Casey DeSantis is Yoko Ono. Oh, you know, that last caller, she's a good caller. But, you know, you talk to your friends in New York, they'll pollute your brain. Oh, boy. Oh, man. No, we'll be back in a couple minutes. I took that last break late. This can't be right. Hold on, I'll be right back. Oh, what a day. What a day. Let's see, where are we going? Where am I going here? Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Got a few more stories that I got to touch on. A lot of good stuff going on in the news today. This is just so positive. You know, this thing with DeSantis's donors dropping him, they realize that's it. It's going to be Trump. That doesn't mean that, you know, the establishment aren't going to just leave Trump alone. They're still going to go after him. But they don't want to waste millions of dollars on DeSantis. They thought they had him. A lot of it has to do, too, with that arrest not happening. They're probably ticked off at DeSantis for blowing his cover because he got so excited. You know? Oh, yeah. You don't have to agree to listen.
Celebrating 45 years.
Indeed. All right. Welcome back. It is Monday. It's a great Monday. If you're just tuning in, Ron DeSantis is dropping out of the presidential race. His donors are dropping him. This is just great news. Great news. Good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
It's Randy from Pennsylvania.
Hey, Randy.
Good morning, Brian. Hey, God bless America, huh?
Yeah, you're from Pennsylvania. Have you guys seen Fetterman lately?
Well, that was one of the things that I wanted to comment on. But first, I want to comment. I got home last night late. I was at the rally in Waco. Man, what a rally it was.
Really? You went from Pennsylvania to Waco, Texas for that rally?
Yeah, fortunately, I'm blessed with a friend with a jet, and him and 4 other guys were
really
down there, and I was asked to go.
Wow.
Rally it was.
Did you flew on a private jet?
Yeah, like I said, I'm blessed with a friend who is not hurting financially, and
yeah,
this is my seventh rally that I've actually gone to with him. And my favorite moment when Trump first came off the plane, the reaction of the crowd. There wasn't a dry eye in the crowd.
No, and I loved. I don't know if you could notice. I've been to I don't know how many Trump rallies. But I don't know if you noticed this or not on the ground, but when Trump Force One flew over and they were playing the Top Gun song, Danger Zone, that was so cool.
People were going nuts. And really, I watched part of it when I got back home. And the crowd reactions of a lot of what went on there isn't really emphasized in the actual recording of the rally itself.
Yeah.
I was just going nuts the whole entire.
How do you know how many people were there? I haven't heard any counts.
Well, they were estimating around 25 to 28,000, larger than that to me. I wasn't in the actual first section of the crowd. I was at that secondary fence outside that section. You could not see how long the line of people was. I mean, it was crazy. I'm thinking maybe 35, 40.
Oh, so wait a minute. So the portion inside was capacity and there were people outside of that area?
Section, or what they call the VIP section, there was not one seat. There wasn't.
How could your friend have a private jet to fly from Pennsylvania to Texas and not be able to get you in the VIP area at the rally?
Well, the funny thing about it is he doesn't like sitting, and neither do I. So standing was really the option of why he never gets.
Yeah, I agree. I like walking around and hanging out.
Well, if you ever sat in those steel chairs, you know what I mean.
Exactly.
My butt gets sore.
Yes.
Standing is a lot better option for me, also.
Yeah. So, what was your favorite part of his speech? Did anything stand out to you? It was all great, I know, but
I always like when the song comes on at the end and when he really goes into the nation is in a decline.
I love that.
Saying this is This is the first I've seen the Vanessa, the artist.
Oh, that was beautiful. Insane.
Oh, that woman, she is amazing, and the people were just in awe of her. But my favorite part of the rally actually was when Trump spoke. But I got an opportunity to meet Mike Lindell for the first time.
Oh,
I had a couple other times before, but he was always surrounded by a bunch of people. And I tried to get a picture with Ted Nugent, but I lost my phone. So
oh no.
Right now I'm on my secondary phone because I lost my phone. I don't know what the hell I did with it.
You know, when President Trump came out there and he stood next to the podium and they played the #1 song in America, President Trump and the J6 Choir, #1 on iTunes, that was pretty emotional too. That was amazing.
Yeah, the people really reacted well to it, and I'll tell you what. President Trump, he's a beacon of hope for his country. And I'll tell you, the patriotism within that crowd was just amazing. There was people hugging each other. There was people crying. You know, it was amazing.
Well, you know, because he cares. All these other politicians, all they care about is making money and advancing their egos. You know, and he really wants to help.
Yeah, and I think there's more and more people starting to realize that. There's a lot of people who are starting to wake up to what's going on. But this is the last comment before I get off here, because I know you've been. It seems strange to me that everybody was asking where John Fetterman was, and all of a sudden, chocolate factory blows up and still in Philadelphia. We're just wondering here if that's just another distraction.
You think the Hershey people are involved in it? You know, Hershey's gone woke. They have that transgender person doing the Hershey woke campaign now. You know, they're doing this whole thing. So it wouldn't surprise me if Hershey was trying to cover for Fetterman. You know, there's a bit of a conspiracy theory going on out there. There's a new photograph of Fetterman, and it really doesn't look like Fetterman. Have you guys seen this picture? A lot of people are talking about this online. It's all over social media, and I agree. It does not look like Fetterman. And he's been he was put in the hospital. He was committed. He's not in the hospital with like a physical injury. He was committed to the mental hospital for depression, which, you know, I know a lot of people that have been depressed their entire life. Half the people I know, because they work in radio, they're always depressed, right? I've never known someone to be hospitalized for, how long has he been hospitalized in the psych ward? For depression. That seems like a cover story for much more severe kind of mental health diagnosis. And but that photograph that they showed, it does not look like Fetterman. The teeth don't match. That growth on the back of the neck is not there. There's a lot of things about that Fetterman photograph. If you've seen it, give me a call. Do you think that's him? You know, there's a story I was just reading, by the way. This is actually an amazing story. It's out of Salt Lake City, Utah. Listen to this. A far-left Utah parent is demanding the Davis County School District remove the Bible from the public schools. They say the Bible is one of the most sex-ridden books around. The parent claims the Bible violates a Utah law passed in 2022 that bans books containing pornographic or indecent content from Utah schools. You know what is most amazing about this story? You know what's most amazing to me? That there's a public school district where there's Bibles in the schools. I thought that the leftists had rid the Bibles from the public school. You know, I mean, isn't that amazing? My daughter's 13 years of schooling, K through 12. She didn't fail, kindergarten, and then all the way up through 12th grade. I don't think I ever saw a Bible in school. There were Bibles in school when I was in school. But I thought that they had rid us of the Holy Bible from all of our schools. I really did. So I'm glad in Utah they still have them. I don't know. Do they have Bibles in our schools here locally in Florida anymore? I do not know the answer to that question. But, you know, these leftists, with their anti this and anti that. They're just against everything. Our number is toll free, everything that's good and moral and just. Our number is 1-888-GO-CANE 1-888-465-2631. Another quick story I want to mention before we break. This is very important story taking place right here in Florida, and I saw this on Newsmax. I was watching a lot of Newsmax over the weekend because the Trump rally. Listen to this. The state of Florida is handing out fines to abortion providers. Under a little-known Florida law, Florida has become a destination for women seeking abortions due to its 15-week abortion restrictions. See, some states, they have a ban that's earlier than ours, so abortion tourism has begun, and some are coming to Florida. Surrounding states that surround Florida, with heartbeat laws that restrict abortions to 6 weeks, have travelers going to Florida for abortions. You know what? I'm looking at the clock. I'm going to wait till after the break to go through the story. This is a big story, and it's very important, and it's something that has to be addressed. Our number is toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE 1-888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you are calling us from. I want to take a moment, though, to tell you about my chiropractor, Dr. Philip Appleton, and his laser away pain treatment, which works. Rid me of years of suffering from my knee pain after a skateboard accident. Rid me of a lot of suffering and pain from arthritis in my finger joint. And I know a lot of you have arthritis, in particular in your hands. Arthritis is awful. And I thought, well, I'm getting older. That's just part of life. Pain, aches, arthritis. It is not a part of life. All right. Dr. Appleton is a chiropractic physician, and he wants to rid you of pain. His laser away pain treatment is completely painless. There's no pain, no injections, no drugs, no downtime, no surgery, just painless relief. My arthritis pain, after one treatment, gone, and it has not returned. My knee pain that I suffer for years, 2 treatments, gone, has not returned. Works on all kinds of other pains as well, not just arthritis, neuralgia, bursitis, hip pain, lumbar pain, muscular contraction, sciatica, strain sprains, tinnitus, tennis elbow, neck pain, any joint. If you're suffering from pain, Dr. Appleton can help. No appointment is necessary. Walk-ins are welcome, and he's open Monday through Saturday. You can find him online at AppletonChiro.com or give him a call, 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. That's 954-973-0710. Give Dr. Appleton a call and say bye-bye to your pain. Back after this.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9. Steve Kane Show. Wine lovers and travel enthusiasts, join the luxurious Douro River Cruise in Portugal, August 23rd through September 2nd. This trip offers a unique and intimate experience. You'll enjoy the best of Portugal, from the stunning city of Lisbon to the world-renowned port wine region of Porto. This luxury riverboat provides exceptional service and top-of-the-line cuisine. You'll indulge in local wines,
Welcome, everyone. If you're new, subscribe. Please like the video, guys. When you guys give me that thumbs up and like the video, it tells the YouTube algorithm to recommend this video and my other videos to people that have not found my channel yet, which helps grow the channel and spread all this great content that we cover on the show. I got to finish up with this abortion story, though, because this is very big story. It's got to be talked about. They never took out the pledge, as far as I know. Have they taken out the Pledge of Allegiance? I know they've tried.
We will read the Bible, pray, and honor blessings to all who listen in the name of our Lord and Savior. Moments of Scripture every Sunday at 6 a.m.
This is Lori Kane. When people go to the dentist, they think of the pain, but the biggest pain is the cost. Not with Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental Care. The dental work is painless, and the prices are painless too. Call today, 954-922-4633, 954-922-4633.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
That's 954-922-4633, BrightonDentalCare.com.
All right.
Social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on the air.
All right. Welcome back, one and all. If you're just tuning in, you've missed a lot. Ron DeSantis dropping out of the race before it even began. His donors are dropping him. Trump beat Soros. He beat Bragg. Had a great rally. We're talking about all these things. But there's a story here I started before the break, but didn't have time to get through it. It's very, very important. The liberals, I had a caller in the first hour. He was saying, there's good Democrats out there. There's some decent Democrats out there. And I told him there's no such thing as a decent Democrat. And that's true. The Democrats certainly are socialist, communist, and all of that. But when it comes to certain areas, they get very capitalistic, right? When they're making their money from their payoffs from China and donors. And they turn terrible things into industries. And President Trump, now this is just my personal belief. I know some may disagree with this. I don't know. But I believe that President Trump's greatest accomplishment is that he overturned Roe v. Wade with his incredible perfect picks to the Supreme Court of the United States. And that's his greatest accomplishment because President Trump, by overturning Roe v. Wade, will be saving the lives of millions of babies forever in this country. Okay, and that's a great accomplishment. And I know the second term is going to be spectacular, but what could President Trump do to top that, huh? I mean, Roe v. Wade being overturned was something I never thought was even realistic to think about happening. I thought they had such a stranglehold on that, and a lot of presidents appoint conservatives to the Supreme Court, and then, shocker, they turn out to be Democrats, like John Roberts, who gave us Obamacare and stuff, right? But he did it. He overturned Roe v. Wade. So what have Democrats done? They've started a new industry. It's called abortion tourism. Abortion tourism. And sadly, Florida has become a destination for abortion tourism. If you're on hold, stand by. I want to share this story because it's very important. And this is one of the unintended consequences to our current abortion laws in the state of Florida. So let me start the story over again. Florida is handing out fines for abortion providers under a little-known law, as the state of Florida has become a destination for women seeking abortions due to Florida's 15-week abortion ban. 15 weeks, man. I mean, that's 4 months. That's crazy. Surrounding states with heartbeat laws that restrict abortions around 6 weeks have travelers going to Florida for abortions. Now, I would argue that if you can afford a Florida vacation from a neighboring state, you can afford to have that baby and either raise the child or give the child up for adoption. But Florida has a law requiring a 24-hour wait for those to sleep on their decision before they have an abortion. Is getting abortion providers fined. You have waiting periods for gun purchases. Liberals love that. We have a 24-hour waiting period for abortions in the state of Florida. Did you know that? Yeah, we do. Florida's Agency for Healthcare Management has issued $500,000 in fines to 14 abortion providers for failing to follow the law on requiring women to wait 24 hours before going through with abortions. This is according to Politico, which is liberal. Okay, now first off, we have a 5-day waiting period on guns, unless you had a concealed weapons permit, then you can walk out with the weapon. If a gun store was not going by the 5-day waiting period, what would happen? They'd get shut down, wouldn't they? They'd be busting in and shutting them down. If these abortion places are not waiting the 24 hours before they commit the abortions. Notice I say commit, not perform. Perform is like the ballet. It's artistry. Perform. That's Donald Trump and the J6 choir. You don't perform in abortions. You commit them, right? But if they're not adhering to the wait period on the abortions, why do we not have the FDLE busting in and shutting them down? So the Florida Agency for Healthcare Administration has issued $500,000 in fines to 14 abortion providers for failing to follow the law requiring women to wait 24 hours before going through with abortions. The law was passed in 2015. The ACLU has kept it from being enforced until a judge upheld it last April. Abortion advocacy groups are upset. Florida's abortion destinations are being punished because those traveling to Florida are forced to get a hotel room or stay another day under the law. Yeah, well, when I got a waiting period for a gun, I got to wait. It costs time and money for me. We have a lot of independent clinics in this state that are working hard to provide women with access, so it's a shame, says the Florida Alliance of Planned Parenthood Affiliates executive director. Women are getting hurt, especially the ones coming from out of state. The issue might get worse. Abortion advocates fear because the GOP-dominated Florida legislature is weighing laws to move the 15-week abortion restrictions down to 6 weeks, like other states have done with the fetal heartbeat bill. It's very easy to be tough on abortion when you're sitting hundreds of miles away in your ivory tower in Tallahassee versus these doctors and nurses who are dealing with women who are about to make one of the most consequential decisions of their lives. The state fines an abortion provider $1,000 for any paperwork that does not show a 24-hour wait before an abortion. One Orlando location was fined $193,000 for the 193 patient case violations. Now, this is an interesting thing. How much are they charging for these abortions? They're saying the women cannot afford a hotel room. You can always find a cheap hotel room. I got Expedia. Okay. If these abortion providers, one in particular, can take $1,000 fine per abortion, what are they charging these ladies? Maybe they should lower the price a little bit, like by $79.99 to cover the Best Western down the street or something. I don't know. But I saw that on Newsmax. That's why Newsmax is so important, right? They get a lot of stories out there you don't hear on Fox and other places. And that really is a sad and terrible story, I got to tell you. And we need to bring that down to 6 weeks. We really do. And, these abortion providers, I wonder how much paperwork they're forging. I don't know. They need to be in there looking. This is the liberals just have no decency. That's why I told the call in the first hour, there's no such thing as a decent Democrat, because Democrats are always doing things like this. I mean, who starts abortion tourism? Who starts that as a business? Democrats, that's who. Good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, this is Helen from Kansas.
Yes, Helen.
Well, I agree with you. Well, first of all, I want to say that I watched the Trump rally. It was wonderful. It was so inspiring. The people of all different races from all different countries that have legally become USA citizens, being pro-USA. Oh, it was wonderful. It was just so inspiring. Plus Ted Nugent, that was great too. But with your abortion thing. You know, Wichita, Kansas used to be the air capital of the world. Well, now it's the abortion capital of the world. So what's going?
Well, Kansas, in the 80s and 90s, there was a doctor who has since passed away. He was murdered, but his name was Tiller. And Tiller was an abortion doctor who performed late-term abortions in the early 90s up until like the moment of birth. And people would fly to Kansas from all over America for those. So Kansas has always been an abortionist mecca.
Yeah, we're not really a red state. We're a blue state.
Correct. Yeah, people don't realize that.
No, they don't. It's disgusting.
Mm-hmm. It sure is. It sure is. I mean, think about, you know, these people that are involved in. I've heard of sex tourism. Okay, you know, that's been going on forever, and there are sicko guys that have an entire travel business on sex tourism. They go to Thailand, they go to other places. You know, now that liberals have started this abortion tourism, it's pretty gross, isn't it?
It's disgusting, and God says He will not dwell on the land that sheds innocent blood.
Mm-hmm.
There's 35. So we're Kansas, or at least Wichita, Kansas is, and maybe KC. They're in for a big surprise.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll cut her off there because I don't even know about that. But I do know this, that these abortion clinics, I bet you, have raised their prices because business is booming. The demand is higher, right? They're these commie leftists are capitalist with certain things, right? So demand is high in Florida because in surrounding states, no abortion after the 6th week. And they're saying the women can't afford hotel rooms. Lower the price, and they could. Now, we don't want them to lower the price. We want the price to be as high as possible, which will stop a lot of women from doing it. But when you read these news accounts, they don't get into the nitty-gritty of this. How much are they charging for these abortions now as opposed to what they charged a couple years ago? I promise you they've raised the price. All right, listen, we're coming up on our top of the hour break. If you're on hold, stand by. It's Monday. And we've been celebrating today. Ron DeSantis is not running for president now. This is amazing. I'll recap that after the top of the hour because that's a huge story. And many more things we've been covering today on the program. If you'd like to comment on anything we brought up so far, our number is toll free, 1-888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you are listening to us at. And of course, Alexa, play True Oldies FLA. And of course, you can also, hey, Google, play True Oldies FLA. There you go. All right. So both those devices, you can listen to our radio station all day and all night that way. Okay. All right. It's 8 o'clock. Callers on hold. Stand by. I'm Brian. Steve will be joining us. We'll be back after this.
WWNN Pompano Beach, WIRK HD3 Indiantown. Programming paid for by the Canales Media Group. Broadcasting from the Rogue Studio. Injured recently? Call the Rogues Law Group, where winning is a habit. 561-570-5700. 561-570-5700.
Oh, man, what a great day. What a great day. Oh. The waiting period is 3 days, not 5.
Here's your True Oldies ABC News Update.
Ugh. Hmm. Hmm. We're getting ready to come back.
Dedicated service reps understand what you need to help you keep your employees feeling safe and performing their best. Your business can too. Workwear, essential cleaning products, first aid and safety supplies, and fire protection services. House.com. Get ready for the workday. Now back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right, welcome back. It's Monday. I'm Brian. Steve Kane here. Hey, Steve. Well, yeah. Did you hear Ron DeSantis has dropped out of the presidential race? You're hearing it here first, okay? There's not been an official announcement, and it's going to be months until DeSantis clarifies this. He's got to try to save face and everything. But it's happening in large part due to the listeners of this program and our show over the last couple of weeks. There's other factors too, like the incredible Trump rally, but listen to this. This is being reported in multiple sources, Gateway Pundit, NBC News, and others. The donors, these are the big major donors, the donors behind Ron DeSantis's 2024 presidential run are now asking him to sit this one out. And we know when the donors ask, they're really telling. They're not really asking. They're just starting out being polite. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis's donors are beginning, and supporters are beginning to question if a 2024 Republican presidential candidacy is possible, or should he wait for the next election cycle, a bid that would put him against President Donald Trump or wait until 2028. According to a report from NBC News, donors and supporters of Governor DeSantis are having second thoughts. These are the guys that fund the campaign, right? On the prospect of the governor's potential presidential bid. Per the report, one main issue seems the governor's ability to take Trump, who has been criticizing the governor for months, head on. A number of the Florida governor's donors and allies are worried that his recent stumbles suggest he may not be ready for a brutal fight against Donald Trump. So that's it. The donors have dropped Ron DeSantis. No donors, no campaign. So this is good news. And there was a new poll. I saw it on Newsmax over the weekend. Donald Trump has a 30-point lead in the latest poll against DeSantis. So I think what happened last week, because DeSantis said if Bragg comes to Florida and arrests Trump, Trump's on his own. I'm not going to get involved. And last week, every caller we had, in particular Florida callers, I asked them, will you vote for Ron DeSantis again? They all said no. So between in this meeting, by the way, of donors was in Palm Beach, which is where our radio stations are located. We're in Palm Beach, okay? And this is the political show of record in that market, Broward, Palm Beach, and the Treasure Coast. So the donors, a lot of them listen to this program, okay? So between us, our callers, and the Trump rally on Saturday night, the donors got together in Palm Beach yesterday and dropped their support for Ron DeSantis. So that's it. No, it was a private meeting that they leaked out to the press. There was no press conference. It was a private meeting that was leaked out to the press. This is stuff that you're hearing first on the program here today. Now, it's going to take months for this to play out because Ron DeSantis has never in his entire life not won or gotten what he was after. He was even in the Little League World Series, okay? So he's going to have to save face, so they're going to drag this out and there'll be a mystery. And then he'll reluctantly, one day announce that he's got to, the people of Florida need him and he doesn't want to be distracted by a campaign and he's going to continue to be the governor and not run. It's just a matter of time. But now that the donors have dropped him, Ron DeSantis will not be running for president as of now. So that's a very good thing. You heard it here first, guys. You heard it here first this morning. And that's a good news. Yeah, it's good news. And now, so, what I'm trying to tell people is you just got to write out Ron DeSantis for a while on this because they're still going to keep the speculation going, so he looks like he's making the decision on his own and not being rejected and dropped by his donors. But we got to back off Ron DeSantis a little bit because for a guy who's never won everything he went after in his life, he's gotten everything, right? For him to be rejected like this, it's not easy for him to, massive. It's not easy for him to come out and say it and admit it and deal with it. And if we continue to batter Ron DeSantis, they obviously listen to the program because this happened in large part from this program's callers over the last week. It'll make it more difficult for him to drop out. And who knows what he'll do at the end if he's battered too much. So we got to back off Ron DeSantis for a while and let him process his rejection by being dumped by the donors. That's exactly what's going to happen. We got to let him save face, but it's over. No donors, no campaign. That's it. So that's great news. And we definitely have to keep telling everybody about that one. I mean, this is just awesome. So now what's going to happen, a lot of the fake MAGA and never Trumpers are going to try to get us to continue to go after Ron DeSantis. Don't fall into that trap. This guy, it's not easy. It's not going to be easy for him to publicly say he's not. Now, he's not going to make some announcement anytime soon. It's going to be weeks, if not a few months, until it's officially settled, okay? We're ahead of the game here with this inside info we got this morning. But just back off DeSantis. Don't push him, and it'll happen, and that's it. And MAGA will be united again. So that's good. Did you catch the rally Saturday? Oh, it was, wasn't it? Oh, my goodness. Oh yeah, and that this rally. Okay, so we got a call in the last hour, and this was a very interesting thing because the never Trumpers and the media want to downplay the crowd size, and there weren't that many people there. There were only 15,000. They're throwing that number around. So we got a call from a guy who went to Texas from Pennsylvania in the last hour. He said that entire area inside the airport was at capacity, and he was behind a fence beyond that. Okay, I guess because it's a working airport, they had to limit the number of people that were actually inside that area where the plane lands and pulls up. So there were people beyond the fence of that area that were there watching too, and he estimated 35,000 plus were at the rally. I don't know. I think the DeSantis people are just realizing the reality of the situation, that he has no chance, right? I mean, if you think about it, and I was talking about this a lot of things factored into the DeSantis donors in Palm Beach dropping him, right? A lot of it, I think, were the callers of this program the last week, no doubt about it. But a lot of it had to do also with the polls. Donald Trump in the poll where they're closest is about 25 points ahead. Okay, there's no poll where he's not 25 or more points ahead than Ron DeSantis. So that's a factor. But that rally on Saturday night, it's not an accident that they did this the day after the rally. The rally was Saturday, and then Sunday the donors met and they dropped Ron DeSantis. Donald Trump having the number one song on the charts on iTunes, the number one song in America, Donald J. Trump and the J6 Choir, that's another poll. No president has ever done that before. And all these things factored together, they realized no one can beat Trump. No Republican can beat Trump. So they're not going to waste their money. No donors, no candidates. It's only a matter of time. Donald Trump may end up running unopposed. We got to take our break, and I'll talk about that when we get back. We'll be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines.
What's today? Today is the 27th. Oh, boy. All right, we're coming back. All right, we are back. I'm Brian. Steve is here, and callers on hold. Stand by. You had something, Steve?
The segment I would like to put a call out for pro-DeSantis people that want to challenge this notion that John is out.
If Ron DeSantis does not have donors, there's no campaign. When the donors say we're not backing you, it's over.
Don't convince me. I'd like to hear from some of the people that
All right.
stand behind.
Well, okay. But you're hearing it here I think I may have shocked people with the news today. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian and Steve. This is Bill from Sanford.
Hey, Bill.
William, how are you?
I am fine, and how are you doing?
Excellent.
Good. My best part is when Trump explained how disloyal DeSantis was.
Oh, that was great.
It was professional. It wasn't calling him names, except for being disloyal. He wouldn't be where he's at if Trump did not endorse him in the primary and the general of his first term.
Yeah, and there's a fake news story going around that the crowd was silent and outrage and disgust when he was talking about this. And no, they were just listening quietly. I mean, Donald Trump told an amazing story about Ron DeSantis that most have never heard before.
Right, and I'll tell you what, that he did that. I give him an A+ on that.
What do you think about the donors here in Palm Beach meeting yesterday, dropping their support for DeSantis?
DeSantis' only hope is to do a mea culpa with Trump in the next year and a half. If he doesn't back Trump, he is gone forever.
He'll not be electable. He'll not be able to hold public office again. He'll never win anything. And if he go ahead.
The governor, it's having mixed emotions. I mean, he has been a great governor.
Yeah.
And re-examine what his political.
But for a guy who has won everything and gotten everything he ever went out for, to lose this right now is not an easy thing for him to deal with. He's got to be physically ill about it.
Yeah. He'll announce after the spring session that he's not going to run.
It's going to be a mild thing. It's not going to be a big pronouncement. He has a press conference almost every day. So when the legislative session is over, he'll have a press conference. Someone will ask, and then he'll casually respond. He's not going to have a big moment where he makes the announcement that he's not running. It's going to take him a while to accept this.
I love your podcast.
Thank you.
In the last 48 hours. I mean, they were great.
Oh, thank you.
You and Kathy, it's a joy to listen.
Yeah, my podcast I co-host with my wife, the Brian Craig Show podcast, is on all podcast platforms. I'm even on Audible. The book on tape people have me. So the podcast has been elevated, and it's all, my podcast was named the number 3 must listen to conservative podcast in America. Number 1 was Mark Levin. Number 2 was Beck, and I was number 3. So that's pretty good.
Well,
yeah, I know, right? I should be above Beck, but he's famous. Hey, appreciate the call, Bill from Sanford. Oh, I want to tell everyone, because there's just a couple days left to take advantage of this incredible offer. All right, because the month of March is almost over. I'm talking about the Douro River Cruise, August 23rd through September 2nd, through Portugal's wine country. And if you book by March 31st, which is just a few short days away, if you book by March 31st, you get free round-trip airfare from wherever you are in the United States to Lisbon. And also included is high-speed rail transportation from Lisbon to Porto, where the river boat is waiting. But today's the 27th, so you just got a couple days left to get the free airfare round trip to Lisbon and the high-speed rail. Now, I want to highlight August 23rd through September 2nd is not a random date that was chosen for this trip. This is the best time of year for this trip because down the Douro River, on the banks of the river, are all the vineyards. And this is the time of year when the grapes are on the vines. Okay. Now, this is a wine sampling tour that's filled with culinary events along the way too. But when you're stopping in these vineyards, you'll be able to take grapes right off the vines and eat them, maybe even take part in making wine. Okay. It's a first-class experience, a bucket list adventure. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, and tips is included. But free airfare round trip to Lisbon and the free high-speed rail is only being offered if you book by March 31st. Okay. And it's almost here. For more information, go to brianportugal.com. When you go to brianportugal.com, request a brochure. You'll see on the left side of the screen, there's a button that says request a brochure. So go to brianportugal.com. You'll see request a brochure. Click that on, and you'll get all the information on the Douro River cruise through Portugal's wine country. But don't wait. Take advantage of that round trip free airfare and the high-speed rail that's included. brianportugal.com. Go there right now and request a brochure. Now, today's the 27th. If you happen to be in New York today, there's something you might want to go to. You going to be in New York later today, Steve? No? Well, you're missing out because there's a seminar today that the New York branch of the United Federation of Teachers are holding in New York City today. It's titled Holding the Weight of Whiteness. They'll be discussing the harmful effects of whiteness. This is today, New York City. That's right. The harmful effects of whiteness. The course is about cultural humility and inclusion. Discussions will take place on how whiteness relates to privilege and identity and how both become normalized and invisible. This Holding the Weight of Whiteness seminar today in New York City will focus on key cultural themes, including internalized racism, white privilege, microaggressions, and white identity related to the Latinx communities. The presenters will share personal stories and experiences that relate to identities and how these experiences have been shaped by racism. Participants will leave the workshop with a better understanding of how to center ourselves as a form of resistance against the harmful effects of whiteness in our lives. The organizers are working with the communities in which they serve, and this seminar is dedicated to them. It is being hosted by a psychotherapy consultant and diversity, equity, and inclusion leader. Yes, this is absolutely amazing. Yeah, the harmful effects of whiteness starting today. So if you're in New York City and you're looking for something to do, skip the Statue of Liberty, go to the Harmful Effects of Whiteness seminar, and spend your day with these wokesters. Oh my goodness. You know, these people don't even hear themselves, Steve. I mean, I don't understand how they can sit around and think that this is anything other than what it is. Hardcore racism. You know, this is worse than, the Klan. When, the only thing they have in common with the Klan is they're all Democrats with this, and the Klan were all Democrats. The Klan put hoods on to hide their identities when they did their evil stuff, right? Even the Klan had shame in their racism against blacks. These liberals today, no hoods, no nothing. They stream it online. They go on television. They stand up in whole rooms and they're proud. No hoods. At least the Klan knew what they were doing was not socially acceptable, and it might harm them if people knew who they were. But these wokesters, their identity is well known. They brag about it. Okay, we'll take our break for the bottom of the hour. Callers on hold, stand by. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE, 1-888-465-2631. We'll be back right after this.
Making morning radio great again. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Gregg. The greatest rock and roll hits of the 60s and 70s coming up this morning. From the Palm Beach Patio Furniture Weather Center, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created, here's the oldies forecast.
Good morning, everybody. Hope your day's off to a great start. Our highs are going to soar into the upper 80s today. It's going to be sticky and a little humid, but mostly sunny skies throughout. The 25 morning meteorologist Sandra Shaw.
Weather brought to you by Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Route 1 Seminole Plaza Shops, North Palm Beach. Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Voted in the best patio store in Palm Beach County. PalmBeachPatioFurniture.com, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created.
And now, oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club. Don't forget the pressure on 195 east south by the we have new crash on Palm Beach on Center Street. Another incident now in West Mobile.
Oh my goodness. The harmful effects of whiteness. That is insane. Just insane. Do you guys understand though what I'm saying? It's going to be very difficult for DeSantis to accept that he's done. So we got to just give him a little bit of a break to accept it, because if we keep going after him, it's going to be harder for him to come out. And we need him out of the race. You know, so we got to take a break from going after DeSantis just to let him get some courage to come out and drop out. Oh, and it would be appropriate backlash. I'd be leading the charge, you know. This is the first time. I mean, I'm like probably 2-3 months ahead of the story with this little leak that came out, you know. But it's big. No. No. By laying off DeSantis right now, we're helping Trump. We need to have the MAGA base united. Very important. Then he can buy a car. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not forgiving him and I'm pissed at him, but you know, got to play the long game. You don't want to batter a man while he's down, but that we need him to do something for us. We need him to drop out and endorse Trump. mean, we don't need his endorsement, but it would help. Yeah, he did. He sure did do it to himself. Oh, Trump's comments on Saturday night was the final. That was the end. That's when the donors woke up. Mm-hmm. Oh. No. Well, nobody's seen it but me. This is a leak about the donors. So, you know, there's the media and everyone, they're still going to push all this BS, but you're hearing it here 2-3 months before it's anywhere else. Oh man, we are back. You know, Steve, I got a message from a listener on Instagram on Friday. One of our listeners came to Florida on vacation from New York, 7 of them, and they went to Anne Marie's for dinner, and they said they loved it. And, you know, this is an absolutely amazing thing. When a couple reasons. We now have people that are visiting Florida on vacation, and Anne Marie's in Pompano is becoming part of their Florida vacation, right? It's a vacation spot now, Anne Marie's. And oh, and all the Italian favorites. Everything is homemade with grandma's recipes. And to have a group of people, I want to think about this. 7 of our listeners came down from New York. Most people come to Florida to go to the beaches, some to go to Disney World. They came to go to Anne Marie's, and they were raving about it, how great it was. You know, they're from New York City, right? Great Italian food that's homemade, like Anne Marie's and Pompano, is almost impossible to find in Florida. I've been searching for it for years. We found it at Anne Marie's. But if you're in New York, there's homemade Italian food all over the place. So to have Italians come down here and you know, from New York and tell us how great Anne Marie's is an incredible endorsement. The week before, we had a listener from Philadelphia go into Anne Marie's and order the Philly cheesesteak that I've been telling you guys you got to try. He's from the home of the Philly cheesesteak, and he loves the Philly cheesesteak at Anne Marie's. That's amazing. Now, Anne Marie's is not open on Mondays. Okay, they're open every other day of the week. I'm sorry to make you guys hungry. I'm making myself hungry just talking about Anne Marie's right now. But these are just great endorsements from our listeners. And I want to share them with you because I think it's important to. When you guys contact me like that, that makes me feel good. I showed that to everybody at the radio station when I got those messages from our listeners. And we appreciate your support of the show and of our radio station and of Anne Marie's. But Anne Marie's is offering something pretty incredible on Tuesdays. Kids eat free from 2 to 6 when the parent purchase an entree. So, and that's tomorrow. So take advantage of that. Anne Marie's is in Pompano on the northwest corner of US 1 Federal Highway and Copans Road in the same plaza as the movie theater. When you stop in, make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio. Okay, I don't know if you've seen this in the news yet, Steve. Did you see this trans activist at the Texas State Legislature? They tried to take the mic away from them. Did you see this? Yeah, they've gotten crazy in Texas. Get this. The Texas legislature, they're passing a law that says you can't have drag shows in schools with little kids. I know. Can you imagine? I mean, you know, taking it out of the trans thing, okay? If I went to Hooters, okay, and I got the Hooters girls from the local Hooters to put on a show at a local elementary school in their Hooters uniforms, the dads would love it, no doubt about it, but it would not be appropriate, okay? It would not be appropriate for obvious reasons. I don't have to tell you why. And people would be outraged. There'd be all kinds of trouble, okay? Because it's really what it is. It's a sex show is what it would be. Sorry, Hooters girls. And that's what, you know, it is. It's not stripping, but it's getting close. You know, and the same, and it's fine. Hooters is fine. You know, nothing against Hooters, but that's adult entertainment. You can, you know, that's not for the school. Same thing with the drag shows. The drag shows, that's adult entertainment. So anyway, one of these trans activists just is outraged that Texas will not allow them to put on drag shows to little kids in the public schools, and was invited by a Democrat to speak to the state legislature about this. And they took the opportunity to call them Nazis. I'm going to play the audio. And when their time was up, they refused to leave. So let me play this. This is a trans activist in Texas, very upset that drag shows are being outlawed at the public schools in Texas. Listen, this is making the headlines today.
Your testimony. Heat from fire and fire from heat. My name is Loren Perkins. I'm a transgender person, and I'm here to testify against SB 12, SB 1601, and any future anti-trans, queer, or other LGBTQIA legislation that comes before this body. I have appeared before the City Council, but this is my first time that I've graced this chamber with my presence, so my voice may be shaky, my hands may be trembling.
This brings all new meaning to the term drama queen, doesn't it? Oh my goodness.
But it is not out of fear or trepidation, but out of indignation and righteous anger. I've been graciously provided by this body a mere 2 minutes to plead the case for my humanity. This morning, I spent not an inconsequential amount of time pondering what to wear, how to do my makeup, what I should sound like, how I could best present myself to make my humanity clear and obvious to this committee. Isn't that a shame? In reality, it should be obvious that I'm deserving of the same rights and privileges afforded everyone else. But hiding your bigotry behind children like cowards, you will find yourself on the wrong side of history. By manipulating the words of an ancient text and shoehorning it into...
Ancient text, that means the Holy Bible, okay? That is ancient text.
Legislation aimed at an at-risk minority population, you liken yourselves to another group that gained popularity in Germany in the 1930s.
So they just called them Nazis, and goes on and on. They're only allotted 2 minutes. Okay, so the 2 minutes are up, and they try to get the transgender person to leave. They won't leave. They go to remove them. A Democrat jumps between the security and the drag queen to block it, and then the drag queen just shouts something out at the end. This is the end.
Infantry, I will not stand for it. We will not stand for it. We may not win today, and we may not win tomorrow, but we will persist as we always have in the fight of your oppression. If you wish to eradicate transgenderism from the public life, as members of your party have said, to quote here our viewers, you can pry that from my cold, dead hands.
Oh, man. Gotten all manly there at the end, the drag queen. But that is, it was, oh, boy. It was an exciting meeting, I'll tell you that. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Carla from Alabama.
Hey, Carla. What's up?
Yeah, I just wanted to say when Trump came down the stairs, you could feel the power come from that man. Power.
Yeah.
Obama said he was going to run. I could feel pure evil come from that man. When Biden got up there, I could feel like a snake coming from that man.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
You could just feel that power from Trump.
Donald Trump, I was talking about this earlier. This is a big deal. And I know people think I'm making too much of this, but I'm not. Donald Trump has the #1 song in America, #1 on iTunes. Donald J. Trump and the J6 Choir. And it's an amazing song. I bought the song last night. #1 song knocked Miley Cyrus, who has a big hit, off #1. She's now #3. Taylor Swift is #2. Donald Trump and the J6 Choir are #1. That shows how popular he is, that he can knock the top 2 singers off the charts. Donald Trump. And he did it. And as far as I know, no president has had a hit song before. Not only that, it's a hit single. Not only that, I can't wait for the sophomore album. You mentioned Obama. Obama won a Grammy Award for his book on tape. Okay. If Trump's got the #1 song on the charts for weeks now, he should be getting a Grammy. Don't you think? Wouldn't that be wonderful? You think they'll give him one?
Well, I know one thing, you can feel God in that song.
Oh, when I've heard the song before, but when President Trump came out on stage and he stood next to the podium, I wondered, what's he doing? And he put his hand on his heart, and then the announcer came on. The #1 song on iTunes by Donald John Trump, the 45th president of the United States, and the January 6th choir. Please stand with you. And everybody got up, and that song played, and you hear the echo in the song because the guys recorded it in the jail, you know, and they don't have sound stuff on the walls and the floor in the jail. These guys, I don't know how many of them are in the DC Gitmo. And I don't know how many of them have been denied their constitutional right to a speedy trial, which is a constitutional guarantee that we have in this country. These are political prisoners, okay? And that is a stain on this country that people are being denied. American citizens are being denied their right to a speedy trial and being held as political prisoners in our capital like that. And only Donald Trump and Marjorie Taylor Greene are standing up for them at that level. And people should download that song. It's on iTunes. It's a good song too.
But like the Bible says, you reap what you sow, and they will reap one day.
Okay, all right. You can get that song on your Alexa, Steve. Donald J. Trump and the J6 Choir. Yeah, #1 song in America. #1 song. I want people to understand this. The #1 song. So if Casey Kasem were alive doing the top 40 countdown, Donald Trump would have the #1 song with Casey Kasem. I wish he was alive to do that. Could you imagine Casey Kasem do? Oh my goodness, it would be beautiful. Beautiful. All right, we're going to take our last break of this Monday morning edition of Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, and come back with the Gold Report right after this.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show.
All right, and it's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated with the Morning Gold and Precious Metals Report. How the metals starting the week off, William Youngerman?
Starting off with giving us another buying opportunity as the markets trade down towards some support levels around $1,950. Last Friday, we saw gold trade as high as $2,004 before closing out the week at $1,978.30. That was down actually $15.20 on Friday. Silver was up 2 cents. Up 12 cents on Friday, closing at $23.20. Platinum lost $2 at $9.83. And palladium closed out the week at $1,357, which was down $11. Overnight, we saw gold trading from $1,947 on the low to a $1,981 high so far. Right now, gold at $1,952 now. That's down $26.30. Silver down 15 cents at $23.05. Platinum down $8 at $9.75, and palladium down $1 at $1,356. So pull back about $50 or so from the highs that we saw last week, but certainly not a big dramatic pullback. That to be expected.
Yeah.
When you have a run up of almost $200 over a period of months.
No, that's awesome news. Yeah, that means it's a gold sale going on right now, is what William Youngerman just said it a different way. Now, you said something on Friday's report that was amazing. You talked about how many people are coming in that have never bought any of the metals before.
Seeing a lot of new buyers to the marketplace and people who are looking around and kind of understanding that this may be the only safe haven left for their money. So a lot of diversification going on, and rightfully so.
Yeah, and I know if you're new to the metals and you've never bought the metals before, you know, and anytime you do something you've never done before, there's a lot of things you don't know. William Youngerman and his team over there will walk you through the whole process. When someone comes in that's never bought any of the metals before, what do they ask for? Do they even know what to ask for? How's that work?
Yeah, well, they kind of are asking our opinion, and asking for what should I buy, what shouldn't I buy, what's the best value, and we take our time, as you know, and explain it to them, give them our free brochures and stuff, and are able to explain it. And it's not that difficult a process, really.
No, not at all. And once you buy your first, you'll understand. And listen, William Youngerman opens up weekdays at 10 a.m. He's located in Boca. His address is 150 East Palmetto Park Road on the first floor of the Bank of America building just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. You can find him online at williamyoungerman.com or give him a call if you have any questions. Again, he opens up at 10 a.m. weekdays, 1-800-327-5010. 1-800-327-5010. That's 1-800-327-5010. All right, William Youngerman, we'll talk tomorrow.
Okay, have a great day.
All right, back after this.
On the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on the air.
All right, we are back, and just a great day. You know, I don't like talking about all this transgender stuff because it's so stupid that I can't even. I feel like it's not even a serious discussion. But sometimes things happen that warrant it. And ESP, I don't know if you can figure this out, Steve, because I don't understand this. Okay, ESPN, that's the sports network. They just, it's Women's History Month. They did ESPN did a Women's History Month special, and they featured Leah Thomas, that swimmer. I mean, what are they thinking? I just don't understand how that goes through an editorial process in a documentary.
The activists, the transgender people have public relations department. I mean, we've known a lot of these people through the years.
Yeah.
He has their own,
Yeah, but Steve, what's going on here is these transgender athletes are destroying women's sports. And, Leah Thomas in particular, all right? I don't know if there's been any LPGA transgender stars yet. But when you have women's sports, okay, it's same with men, but in sports, someone that's playing on a college team or they're on a swim team in college, they have spent their entire life playing tennis, softball, golf, swimming since they were little kids.
Destroy the woman field
Than anyone. Yeah, it's a total cheater.
Such a vivid example. Her physical attributes are so obvious that many times that's what makes the difference.
Well, this ESPN documentary has finally gotten some of these girl swimmers to speak out, and they're pretty ticked. If you're a girl on a college swim team, you have been in the pool since you were a little girl every day of the week, right? Winter, everything in the pool. Your parents have a lot of time and money invested. You spent your whole life doing it. And then you get this cheater who's swimming with the boys, and they're 250 something. And they come in and they steal all your dreams away that you've worked your whole life for. And now finally, some of these girls are speaking out. And one of them was talking about how in the locker room, Leah Thomas was walking around bottomless, and there's a fully functioning organ down there, and that's the kind of thing that if I did that, I'd get arrested. And you know what? It'd be the right thing. If I'm walking around the girls' locker room naked with everything flying around, that's called indecent exposure. It's called flashing people. Flashing's a crime, unless you're Leah Thomas.
Such a vivid case for the normals.
Exactly. Well, let's take some of these calls. 1-888-GO-CANE-1. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is JJ from Mass.
Hey, JJ.
Hey, JJ, what's up?
Not much. Enjoying the warm weather up here in Massachusetts. It's starting to get coming into spring, guys. Hate the snow. It's looking good. But I want to talk about, obviously, Trump's rally.
Oh, yeah.
And at the end, I just love it when the music plays and he talks. But the very beginning with the J6 choir and the number one song, like you had been saying on iTunes, is just, it's moving. It is so moving to listen to him speak.
Well, the reason I've been hearing from people off the air telling me, why you keep talking about the song? Who cares? That is the most incredible poll I've ever seen. The number one song on iTunes is Donald Trump, the number one song in America. What president has ever had a song that was in the top charts, not to mention #1. And all this talk of polls, there's no poll better than that. That is an incredible poll that was done, that people are downloading. Now, I downloaded the song after the rally. I'd heard of it before and didn't bother to download it. That shows you how popular he is, that he is the first president of the United States to not just have a #1 song, but to even have a song that was on the charts. And unless I've missed one, if any other presidents have a song on the charts, a song, not a book on tape.
Absolutely not. I don't think they've never had a song, but it was just like the clarity of it, that it is so. In other words, you can't rig that. You know,
This is being so simple. It's hard to believe that it's real.
Yeah.
You really think that this race culminated as quickly as it did, and it's all over with the Shep?
Yeah.
Did DeSantis? Yeah. I mean, last week I was just saying the only thing that DeSantis had to do. This was last week. I commented with all he had to do is say, "I support Trump. Shut up and run the state of Florida," and he would have been the nominee in 28. The only way he goes anywhere in politics now, the only way, is if Donald Trump, gives him his blessing, and that.
Well, yeah.
You think that's all just going to simply fall into?
Yeah, in a few months.
Well, it'll definitely take time, and I think a lot of it will just fade from memory because Trump's going to be continuing. Everybody's going to be talking about Trump's rallies.
Well, the thing is, this is an important point to make. Ron DeSantis has never lost anything in his life. He's gotten everything he ever wanted. This is the first time he's dealt with rejection. So it's going to take him months to publicly come out and say he's not running. Okay. It's a very difficult thing. That's why I'm saying we got to stop bashing him right now, because if we do that, it's going to make it harder. And we really need to. And he's got Yoko Ono, Casey DeSantis over there, his wife, the Yoko Ono of MAGA, who's not happy. Okay. And she,
You mentioned Yoko. I've been waiting for this movie to come out. I saw a little bit about it on Tribeca, about Yoko and May Tang and the relationship that she had, the assistant that had with John Lennon. And that's coming out. I don't know. I've heard you talking about.
Oh, John Lennon. Okay. The Beatles broke up here in Florida. John Lennon signed the contract breaking up the Beatles at Walt Disney World at a hotel room up there. And he had with him his Asian assistant, not Yoko Ono, this other girl. May Pang. Yeah. Yep.
And I think that's the name of John Lennon's The Lost Weekend. I think it's coming out here in April. Hopefully a lot of good, maybe stuff that nobody's ever seen.
I made a YouTube video going to John Lennon's hotel room where he broke up with the Beatles. I know. I do a lot of weird stuff, but I did that. I know. That's kind of strange. But I want to get back to what's important, though. What I'm telling you guys about DeSantis is important. I'm not forgiving DeSantis yet and everything else. What you're hearing today, you're 2 or 3 months before the rest of the news, okay? We got to back off DeSantis. When you're a guy who's won everything in your life and never faced rejection and you face it for the first time, I mean, he's never even had a girl break up with him, okay? Because he's been Mr. Perfect. He always did the breaking up, right? This is the most difficult thing Ron DeSantis has ever been through in his life. He's dealing with right now. Those donors met in Palm Beach yesterday and went to him and they asked him not to run. They're not really asking, but they're trying to handle him. So he must be sick. This has never happened to him. What do you mean? I'm not getting what I want. I was in the Little League World Series.
They let him on. They tried. I mean, he was listening to his own music. He was leaving the bathroom thinking there's rose petals there. And you're definitely right. This is going to be quite the shock for him that they backed out on him.
Yes. That's the end of it.
Welcome to the playbook of MAGA.
Well, listen, we need, I was using the Yoko Ono example with Casey DeSantis. I mean, I've known, and any guy out there has known a guy whose wife gets him to do things he shouldn't do work-wise and cost people jobs and careers and everything else, okay? And they don't, and that's what's going on with Casey DeSantis right now. and she's going to be pushing him to still run, even though the donors have backed out. So if we got to back off DeSantis, because if we keep going after him right now, he's going to dig in, and we need a united MAGA front. We need to not attack each other, but expose them.
I'll be nice to DeSantis. I was calling him Ron Deodorant, but I'll be nice.
Some of the names I've heard, the two that I've heard are, of course, Ron DeSantis and Ron Jeb Santis. That's another one. Jeb Santis is another one. All right,
He stinks to high heaven, so I was calling him deodorant.
It sure does. It sure does. Okay, thanks for the call. I debuted a new commercial. One of our listeners called in the other day talking about how much they love their MyPillow 2.0 with cooling technology, Lisa. And this will be in the regular rotation soon, but let me play for you real quick.
Hey, good morning, Brian. It's Lisa, and my husband and I received our MyPillow 2.0 that we ordered with Kane the other day, the buy one, get one free, and they're our first MyPillows, and we love them. We absolutely love them. They're just absolutely marvelous. Yeah, I'm so glad. I got slippers on the way, too.
Go to MyPillow.com and use our promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E, and buy your MyPillow 2.0. Right now, buy one, get one free. You can also order by phone, toll free, 800-716-4879, 1-800-716-4879. Promo code Kane.
Yeah, and that MyPillow 2.0 is the one with the cooling technology. And Lisa, thanks so much. And you do a good commercial, Lisa. Okay, thanks so much. All right, let's go back to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Larry from West Palm Beach.
Hey, West Palm, what's up?
I agree with you. Like, it's a done deal. Let's move on. Let's not talk about the fans anymore, because, like I said, all these people called, and he's not a rhino. He wouldn't have done the stuff he did if he was a rhino. So I still want him for our governor. He did good things. People should be jealous as hell. I always make people jealous. I said, well, you should get, everybody wants to move here. Why is California plates here?
Mm-hmm.
It's not his time. He realizes maybe, 2028, maybe he has a good chance. And all those other people that are going to run against Trump, that's a joke. We know that.
Well, they don't know that.
And the one guy said, I think he got led. He's not a rich man. He got led. He said, really, I got a chance.
That's right. That's right.
Like I said, I see all these comments on the live chat.
Well, listen, we gotta run because the show's over, but some good points you made. And hey, listen, DeSantis is gonna say some things you don't like in the near future, but don't fall in to the trap. All right, well, that's it for us today. I'm Brian. Steve Kane, of course, has been here. We'll be back tomorrow morning, and just a great day, great show, great callers today. And this is going to be a week of great news, people. I'm sorry to tell you liberals out there. It's a week of great news. All right. God bless America. And, of course, God bless Donald Trump. See you tomorrow.
WWNN Pompano Beach. WIRK.
All right, guys. I got to run. Make sure you subscribe and like the video.